The Greenbelt movement in Kenya is one of the world's greatest examples of how to restore natural systems and get them working for the people who rely upon them for their daily survival.
The Greenbelt movement, in many ways, is quite a visionary movement. It was about engaging women in the planting of trees, both to heal the environment, but also to provide fuel for themselves, bring the fuel closer to home. Because women were spending 5 hours a day collecting fuel.
So what we must not do is lose hope.
Wanjira Maathai's mother, Wangari Maathai, started the movement in the 1970s to address the widespread deforestation happening in Kenya. Across Africa, 90% of the energy used for cooking and heating comes from the wood taken out of Africa's dwindling forest to cook with. But the Greenbelt movement is changing that, and today is responsible for putting more than 50 million trees into the ground on small farms where they are needed the most.
And so the movement was started to see how we can help women get fuel closer, help women heal the land so that the water and the streams could come back. So they can get food, they can get fuel, and they can restore the earth and get the rivers coming back. That was really the genesis of the movement.
Alice Nyambura has been reforesting her land with help from the Greenbelt movement for more than a decade.
Twambĩrĩirie kũhanda mĩtĩ, tũkahanda natharĩ, tugacoka tukamĩcenjia tugatwara mĩgũnda-inĩ gwitũ, na nĩkĩo mũrona ĩno tũhandĩte gũkũ mĩgũnda-inĩ nginya na kũu ngurumo kũiyũrĩte mĩtĩ.
In the past, she and the women of her village would walk hours to cut trees in the nearby forest. Countries in Africa are losing up to 2.8% of their forest cover every year. But now, she gets all of the wood she needs for energy from the trees she grows here on her farm.
Mĩtĩ ĩno nĩyo tũhũthagĩra gũthondeka mbaũ, nĩyo tũhũthagĩra gũthondeka ngũ cia kũruga nacio, tũgatema, tũgatinangia, tũkona ngũ cia kũruga nacio.
The effect of Greenbelt's work is profound. Off into the distance are just trees. But 15 years ago, there was almost not one to be seen. The rivers had dried up, and the people here talk about how the rains would not come because the trees were gone. New studies from both Cambridge and the University of Sydney suggest what people have known for years. When forest cover disappears, the rains do too. But that has completely changed for the better.
The Greenbelt movement essentially started by organizing women into small groups. They started in about 20 per group. 20 women would form a group. And today there are about 4,000 of these groups. So close to 100,000 women involved in the movement today. And these women are essentially working on the same premise, the role of the tree, one in healing the land, but also in providing nutrition and fuel for them, for their daily lives.
This vast groundswell of change is not only driving energy security, but addressing malnutrition and food security as well.
In the process of working with these women, other things start to happen. These trees have transformed them. You work with women or you visit women like the one we visited yesterday, and you can see her relationship to the land. Food security becomes something that is natural to her. She plants a lot of the food that she eats every day comes from that land. So her food security for the family, at the family level, is secured. And that is an incredible part of the whole integrated approach to sustainability.
Building on the past, Wanjira Maathai and her team partnered with the US government State Department, CARE International, and many other NGOs and grassroots movements to work together to spread this sustainable land use system and make it even more successful. They want to give women greater sources of revenue and address a worldwide problem, climate change. According to scientists at Pretoria's Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, sub-Saharan Africa accounts for only 3% of global emissions. But it is seeing a rate of warming that is almost double the worldwide average.
Even if the world is successful in restraining the global rise in temperature to 2 degrees Celsius, then it still means a 4-degree temperature increase for the Southern African region.
In an amazing endeavor to mitigate the effects, Greenbelt and its partners are harnessing the power of the world's fastest growing plant.
The Greenbelt movement's bamboo biomass and entrepreneurship project is one of the most promising things.
The movement aims to use the tree planting skills of hundreds of thousands of women to create a second green revolution, planting bamboo across the country.
And it's extremely hopeful to see that 24 women who have come together to create a bamboo biomass and entrepreneurship initiative where they will look at bamboo for the provision of biomass, but also for opportunities for business, making very simple implements, beautiful implements out of bamboo that they can sell, but also that this same bamboo, which is a grass and arguably has a lot more biomass than eucalyptus and other fuel trees that are being grown today, that they can see that both as a source of fuel and as a source of income.
This small pilot project, 2 hours from the capital city, Nairobi, is the beginning of a national campaign to plant bamboo everywhere. Bamboo can grow up to 3 feet per day in the tropics, and its dense fibers can be used to make thousands of products, as well as a superior cooking fuel that has less emissions.
The importance of the bamboo is that it can be an alternative way for their biofuel. Like they can use it for firewood, for charcoal, they can use it for constructions, material. We were trying to think, the idea was to introduce to them something they can afford, something which is cheaper, something which is available. They can get it very easily, because we thought if they can plant each 2 in their household, it can sustain them for the rest of their life.
Julia Wangali runs the pilot project with 24 other women and has planted the first stems of a special species of bamboo here.
Na riu ni tukenete ni undu wa project ino itu to ni turona mathina maingi maria tukoragwo namo micii ni maguthira to tutigucoka gutema miti yo tondu tungitema muno mbura ni kwaga.
Most women cook on 3 stone fires like this and expose themselves, their children, and the environment to huge amounts of polluting smoke. Bamboo burns cleaner, and when used in a stove like this one, can reduce pollution and wood use. According to the Japanese and Australian scientists, it can also help to clear the skies. A little over 2 acres of bamboo can take in 15 tons of atmospheric carbon per year.
Hu atumia tukoragwo nao ni manyitite project ino na hinya tondu ni turona matuko maguka ni tugukorwo tuthiite mbere muno.
A Yale University report details that the smoke from incomplete burning like this is not only deadly to the women exposed to it, but creates a special type of carbon pollution called black carbon that is second only to carbon dioxide as a global warming agent. Anything that reduces black carbon emissions across Africa can reduce climate change.
Ona kuiriga tondu okorwo ni area teno ngitara miti iria irikite haha kuiriga guku guothe ni haria yatemo hagatigwo hatari kindu hagatigwo guo. Na riu ni turona tungihota no tuhote kuhundithia andu angi aingi na nigetha bururi witu ukorwo uri na mbura njiganu.
Bamboo can be used to make more than 1,000 products, from beds to houses to crafts and even towels and textiles. And when integrated with well-designed stoves, offer rural farmers a whole systems approach to sustainable energy, income, and self-sufficiency.
Na mirangi ino no dawa ya kurio ni nda na ni thondekagwo mindira migathi na tauro na matishati uguo ena mabata maingi muno igukorwo gituteithia.
The statistics are startling, and I think that's why people could be apathetic. You have 90% people still using biomass fuel, but that's the opportunity for us to engage. At least we see women as critical agents of change. Women involved in the clean energy solutions, involved in the technologies, simple solutions that cost very little.
Mathai believes that solutions to climate change and the many challenges facing the world are here today.
The solutions are out there. I have not met one person who, when faced with these solutions, is still apathetic. I think people just don't know. The minute we put these before people, the solutions are there. We just need them to connect those dots. And I know that without exception, when people come face to face with the reality, but also with the solutions, they almost can't believe we've not done anything yet. So Get this out. Let people know what's going on. The stories are hopeful, and people are desperate for things to support or things to put themselves behind some real success stories. These are quick wins.